She only said, "I can't deny that what you say sounds very sensible, but you really must not hand on to Major Callendar anything I have told you about Doctor Aziz. He felt disloyal to his caste, but he promised, adding, in return, please don't talk about Aziz to Adela." "Not talk about him? Why?" "There you go again, Mother. I really can't explain everything. I don't want Adela to be worried, that's the fact. She'll be wondering whether we treat the natives properly and all that sort of nonsense. But she came to be worried. That's exactly why she's here. She discussed it all on the boat. We had a long talk when we went on shore at Aden. She knows in play, as she put it, but not in work. And she felt she must come and look round before she decided, and before you decided. She's very, very fair-minded." "I know," he said dejectedly. The note of anxiety in his voice made her feel that he was still a little boy, who must have what he liked, so she promised to do as he wished, and they kissed goodnight. He had not forbidden her to think about Aziz, however, and she did this when she retired to her room. In the light of her son's comment, she reconsidered the scene at the mosque, to see whose impression was correct. Yes, it could be worked into quite an unpleasant scene. The doctor had begun by bullying her, had said Mrs. Callendar was nice, and then, finding a grand safe had changed, he had alternately whined over his grievances and patronized her, had run a dozen ways in a single sentence, had been unreliable, inquisitive, vain. Yes, it was all true, but how false a summary of the man. The essential life of him had been slain. Going to hang up a cloak, she found that the tip of the peg was occupied by a small wasp. She had known these wasps, or his relatives, by day. They were not as English wasps, but had long yellow legs which hung down behind when they flew. Perhaps he mistook the peg for a branch. No Indian animal has any sense of an interior. Bats, rats, birds, insects will as soon nest inside the house as out. It is to them a normal growth of the eternal jungle, which alternately produces houses, trees. There he clung, asleep, while jackals in the plain bayed their desires and mingled with the percussions of drums. "Pretty dear," said Mrs. Moore to the wasp. He did not wait, but her voice floated out to swell the night's uneasiness.
Forster realizes that both English and Indians have vices. What is terrible is that the separation encourages their vices, not their virtues. The story begins when two ladies, Adela Quested and Mrs. Moore, come from England to Chandrapur on the river Ganges. Miss Quested is coming to visit Mr. Moore's son Ronnie, with the prospect of getting married. Being new to India, they are interested in visiting places and meeting Indians socially, something that Anglo-Indians only do when they must. One evening, Mrs. Moore goes to a mosque and there meets Doctor Aziz, a Muslim. They talk in a friendly way, and she returns to the club where a play is being performed and talks to her son.